you can't live your life based on like what other people are going to think, how other people are going to feel, because at the end of the day, it's you, it's your life. Right. So it's going to make you happy.
And we do have some breaking news that we want to bring to you. It was being reported by TMZ and now Fox News. We are learning that Jay-Z is accused of a 13-year-old girl. That is new in the Diddy lawsuit.
Oh, you thought Lori Harvey was just another pretty face caught in the crossfire of Beyoncé's legendary wrath. Honey, we wish it were that simple. Because what's circulating now isn't about a flirty smile at a Rock Nation brunch in 2019. This goes much deeper and much darker. Lori wasn't just romantically linked to Diddy. She was allegedly treated like a party favor at his infamous gatherings, and Jay-Z. Insiders claim he wasn't just a guest. He was allegedly one of the main players, so if you thought. Beyoncé's reaction to that 3-second clip of Lori batting her lashes was intense. Wait until you hear what she supposedly knows, or at least what the streets say she's been told. This isn't about cheating. This is about control, and Lori locking down her social media, that wasn't fear of the beehive. That was survival. That was someone who knew she was standing on a landmine.
What's the best advice they've given you?
Just remember that you're the prize at all times.
Boom.
Best advice.
Now let's rewind to that brunch because the official story makes it sound accidental. Lori just happened to catch Jay-Z's attention while Beyoncé was busy serving a look. But nothing in Diddy's world happens by chance. Sources say Lori wasn't just present. She was placed there, part of a long-running strategy, and Jay-Z wasn't just making conversation. He was allegedly sampling what Diddy had on offer. When that photo hit the internet and the beehive swarmed, Lori shut everything down instantly. But what if that wasn't fan backlash management? What if it was emergency damage control? Because something real was about to surface, and notice how fast she unfollowed Diddy right after. That didn't feel random. That felt like someone cutting ties before the explosion. But here's the darker part. Lori wasn't Diddy's first, and she wouldn't be the last. He allegedly turned access into currency, using young women as trade pieces. We've seen it before. Cassie Ventura, Adria English. They all started as muses and ended as warnings, and Lori fit the profile perfectly. Beautiful, connected, and protected by a stepfather America trusts. Steve Harvey's silence says more than words. No speeches. No outrage. Just quiet. And in that family, silence isn't peace. It's suspicious. So did Steve know what Lori was walking into? Or did he look away because the benefits were too good?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, he said.
Are you kidding me?
He said that he confronted you about it before, and then even
and
after
he
that,
still
he did it again.
ain't said what.
And then there's Beyoncé, Queen Bey. The woman who turned betrayal into an empire and forgiveness into art. But what if this time it's not about forgiveness? What if it's strategy? Because Beyoncé doesn't react. She calculates. If Jay-Z was truly involved in Diddy's alleged games, this isn't marital drama. This is career-ending territory. She has a legacy, a tour, and children watching her every move. Dio, you really think she'd let Jay-Z drag her name through the mud again? Or is she waiting, letting the truth ripen before she releases it? Beyoncé doesn't fight in public. She fights in perception. And history shows she always wins.
This morning, rap mogul Jay-Z is denying allegations he assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay-Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was assaulted by both men.
Here's the real question. What happens when the music stops? When the parties end, the cameras shut off, and only receipts remain? Diddy may be locked up, but the machine he built is still running. And Jay-Z could be next. Federal eyes are circling. Lawsuits keep stacking, and every week another name gets pulled into the light. So while everyone fixates on Lori's smile and Beyoncé's silence, remember this isn't about one woman or one couple. It's about an industry fueled by exploitation. And those infamous parties, they weren't just indulgence. They were auditions. Diddy curated those rooms carefully, stars, yes, but also dreamers, young women with ambition and little protection. Lori fit that mold perfectly. And the whispers have been around for years. NDAs, girls arriving hopeful and leaving shaken. But nobody talked, because in this industry, silence isn't optional. It's required. Speak up and you're buried. Just ask Cassie Ventura, Adria English, or anyone else who tried to tell the truth and got crushed by lawsuits and smear campaigns. Power doesn't just defend itself. It destroys whatever threatens it.
Respect to evidentiary value, yes, it happened 24 years ago, right? More than 24 years ago. But in the allegations, there's a few things. Number one, there's allegation that another celebrity was present at the time, right, in addition to other people. Number two, there's the claim by the victim, right, that she left, that she went and she was seen by a gas attendant who saw her in.
But here's the kicker. Diddy's in jail now, and Jay-Z. He's sweating because the walls are closing in, and the one person who could really bring him down isn't a lawyer, a judge, or even the FBI. It's his wife. And if Beyoncé has taught us anything, it's that she doesn't just leave a man. She erases him. So while the world argues over whether Lori is a victim or a villain, the real question is this: what does Beyoncé know? And more importantly, what is she waiting to do with it? Because if there's one thing we know about the Carters, it's that they don't lose, they strategize. And if Jay-Z's name is sitting on that lawsuit alongside Diddy's, you better believe Beyoncé is already 10 steps ahead, plotting her next move. And when she strikes, this won't be a scandal. It'll be a massacre. Now let's rewind, because this story didn't start with Lori Harvey. Not even close. It started years ago, back when Diddy was still Puff Daddy and Jay-Z was just another hungry rapper from Brooklyn. These two didn't just rise together, they ruled together. And the blueprint they followed wasn't written in ink. It was written in blood. We're talking about the 90s, when the music industry was lawless and the rules were simple. If you wanted in, you played the game. And Diddy, he didn't just play. He owned it. Bad Boy Records wasn't just a label. It was an empire. And empires aren't built on talent alone. They're built on secrets.
So what happens now is this is simply a civil complaint. And in a civil complaint, it goes through the technical legal process. Now, the distinction, Jessica, between civil and criminal, of course, is that civil is for monetary damages, right? The system can only reward you with money. There's allegations that this 13-year-old is suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, suffered depression, etc. So now you go to fact find.
Remember the nightclub shooting in '99? The one where Diddy walked away clean while his protege Shine took the fall? Or the stabbing incident that same year where Jay-Z copped a plea and walked away with probation? Coincidence? Please, these men didn't just survive their legal trouble. They thrived because of it. In their world, a charge isn't a setback. It's a resume booster. The more you get away with, the more untouchable you become. So when we hear about the parties, the girls, the alleged assaults, when we hear about a 13-year-old in 2000 or Lori Harvey in 2019, we have to ask, was this ever really about music? Or was it always about power? And let's talk about that power, because it's not just about what these men did. It's about what everyone else allowed them to do. The industry looked the other way. The media called it a lifestyle. And the fans, we bought the albums. We streamed the songs. We wore the merch. We turned them into legends. And now we're acting shocked when the receipts start surfacing. But let's be honest. We knew. Maybe not the names, not the dates, not every detail, but we felt it. That quiet voice in the back of our heads every time another story broke. Every time another woman spoke up. Every time another party ended with more questions than answers.
If you're a halfway intelligent person, when do you start questioning how lucky some just keep getting?
Right.
So when we look at Lori Harvey now, when we see her social media locked down, comments deleted, and silence everywhere, we have to ask, is she scared of the Bayhive? Or is she scared of something far worse? Because sure, the Bayhive can be ruthless, but they don't have the reach Diddy has. They don't have the resources. And if Lori really was part of Diddy's operation, if she really was passed around the way insiders claim, then her real fear isn't angry fans, it's the men who own this industry. The ones who've spent decades making sure no one talks. The ones with lawyers on speed dial and NDAs stacked higher than the charts. And that brings us right back to Beyoncé, doesn't it? Because if there's one person with enough power to take them all down, it's her. She's not just a wife. She's not just a mother. She's a billionaire. She's a cultural icon. And she's angry at SO while the world debates whether Lori is a victim or a willing participant. And tabloids argue over who smiled at who. Beyoncé is playing the long game. And if Jay-Z's name is really on that lawsuit, if the FBI is actually circling, then trust me, she's not thinking about divorce. She's thinking about destruction.
But after that major documentary comes out on Diddy, then you're going to start to hear more and more about Jay-Z and his nefarious.
Because in the end, this isn't just a story about Lori or Diddy or even Jay-Z. It's about what happens when the queen decides to burn the kingdom down. And when Beyoncé is holding the match, nothing survives the flames. This isn't the first time. And if we're being honest, it probably won't be the last. So let's rewind to the year 2000, when the music industry was running on smoke, mirrors, and backroom deals dark enough to turn your stomach. Picture this, a 13-year-old girl, wide-eyed and full of dreams, ends up at one of Diddy's infamous after-parties. She's handed a drink, something sweet, something strong, and the next thing she knows, she's waking up in a bedroom that isn't hers, and she's not alone. Standing over her are two of the most powerful men in music, Diddy and Jay-Z. We've all heard the lawsuits, the denials, the carefully polished PR statements. But strip away the noise and ask yourself, what kind of man looks at a child and sees opportunity? And what kind of industry protects that behavior for decades? Because this wasn't a one-off horror story. This was the blueprint.
In a blistering statement, Jay-Z accuses Jane Doe's attorney of trying to blackmail him. He said further, quote, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away."
And if you think that was bad, let's talk about the white parties. The so-called exclusive gatherings where Diddy played kingmaker and the real price of entry wasn't a designer outfit. It was your silence. We're talking about events where underage girls were allegedly plied with spiked drinks, where rites of passage weren't harmless initiations but assaults disguised as opportunity. Lawsuit after lawsuit paints the same picture, a 16-year-old boy lured into a private room with promises of stardom, only to be told to drop his pants as part of the process. A security guard who says the drinks at a 2006 bash weren't just strong, they were a setup. And then there's Audrey English, the former adult film star who claims she was groomed into trafficking at these same events, where champagne flowed just as freely as the threats. So ask yourself this, if this was the culture in 2000, if this was normal back then, what exactly was happening in 2019 when Lori Harvey walked into that Rock Nation brunch, smiling, with Diddy's hand resting comfortably on her back?
I was with the girl, and he was asking about her, and then he was asking me stuff like, would you be interested in, like, somebody watch? And he was just asking some really, really bugged out questions. And I still have those emails. I still have all that, So, like, that's one of the things that I was going to include in the book. I'm just trying to figure out how.
And if there's one thing we know about Beyoncé, it's that she doesn't let anyone, not even her husband, put that at risk. But here's what should keep everyone up at night. This isn't just about Lori or Diddy or Jay-Z or even Beyoncé. This is about a system that's been running on exploitation for decades. A system where young women are currency, silence is the price of entry, and power is the only thing that matters. And right now, that power is shifting. Diddy may be locked up, but the parties haven't stopped. The drinks are still pouring. The girls are still smiling for the cameras. So while everyone argues over who knew what and when, don't lose sight of the real question. Who's next? Because if Lori Harvey was allegedly just another name on the list, then who's walking into that VIP section tonight? And that's where this chapter ends, but not the story. The lawsuits are still piling up. The FBI is still digging. And Beyoncé, if she decides to drop the hammer, the whole world is going to feel it. So ask yourself, what is she waiting for? And more importantly, who's truly afraid of what she might find out? Stay sharp, stay skeptical, and remember, in this game, the only thing more dangerous than the truth is the person who's been hiding it. Until next time, keep your eyes open and your comments spicy. We're watching.
Lives, and we may actually see one of the biggest divorces in Hollywood is because Jay-Z is up next to be exposed.
And if there's one thing we know about Beyoncé, it's that she doesn't let anyone, not even her husband, put that at risk. But here's what should keep everyone up at night. This isn't just about Lori or Diddy or Jay-Z or even Beyoncé. This is about a system that's been running on exploitation for decades. A system where young women are currency, silence is the price of entry, and power is the only thing that matters. And right now, that power is shifting. Diddy may be locked up, but the parties haven't stopped. The drinks are still pouring. The girls are still smiling for the cameras. So while everyone argues over who knew what and when, don't lose sight of the real question. Who's next? Because if Lori Harvey was allegedly just another name on the list, then who's walking into that VIP section tonight? And that's where this chapter ends, but not the story. The lawsuits are still piling up. The FBI is still digging. And Beyoncé, if she decides to drop the hammer, the whole world is going to feel it. So ask yourself, what is she waiting for? And more importantly, who's truly afraid of what she might find out? Stay sharp, stay skeptical, and remember, in this game, the only thing more dangerous than the truth is the person who's been hiding it. Until next time, keep your eyes open and your comments spicy. We're watching.